for each and every one of our kids, Hispanic, black, or Jew, or Asian, takes place. Or I should say replaces us. It's according to your plan, Bush. Your moms and your dads. And when it comes to your government workers, your military and federal workers, secretaries, and other moms and dads, I just want to say, if by any mistake there are left those of our moms and dads in there, gradually they will be deleted, as we know. They will be wiped out. Because today we look at human resource personnel and everything else in the companies we go apply, they already mainly are Jewish moms and dads over their positions. And of course your minorities and so on and so forth. The purification process is taking place. It was a one-time deal. It was a one-time deal. A one-time military, federal secretaries and other workers which have suffered in 9/11. So that could be later on used for what is taking place today. So you could use your terror approach to make them view and see things the way you want to view and pursue your things against us, and divide us and destroy us in your terror, Bush. That's why they were sacrificed once and later on also used as what is taking place against us today. That much about moms and dads and your entry speech. Now let's move forward.
The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat.
The pictures have filled us with disbelief. The pictures have filled us with disbelief. Well, Bush, it is obvious, it's a fact. Not only that pictures have filled us with disbelief, but the present situation or what have taken place afterwards, after 9/11, have clearly filled us with disbelief. You see, it was not so much for, as you have claimed, the terrorist planes crashing in those buildings, as it was for you, or I should say people whom you have pledged to serve, and for whom you have taken initiative to drive United States of America into insanity, into terror. And when it comes to your statement, these acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation in chaos, in retreat. My only response to that, to you, terrorist Bush, is that is exactly the opposite. It was a chaos used to frighten the nation in retreat, which was afterwards used for what is taking place today, or so-called mass murder, genocide against us. The shootings, the rampage which is taking place. The forceful unemployments. You see, Bush, exactly the opposite.
America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world.
America, that's shown as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before. While studying here,
it is quite obvious for whom it is beacon of freedom and opportunity, the United States of America. for which moms and for which dads is a beacon of freedom and opportunity. The United States of Jew America.
Today our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature.
Now that I have to agree with. The very, very, very worst of evil. Except for one thing, I disagree. Not the human. It's not human. But very, very worst of the evil. United we stand? No. Doctors? Medical staff? See it that way. Other people, victims, that way. Divided nation more than ever. The very worst? The very, very, very worst of the evil? Yeah, but not humane. The terror, the terrorist, the devil himself.
Spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace.
Well, Bush, and you know, those who have prepared this speech of yours, or I should say the best for the last speech part of it, the part of it where you know, this people eventually are encouraged or just blatantly grab a pile of shit and throw it right into a public or entire America, into face of people, right like this, with no shame, no nothing. You know, for one thing, I would tell you what, is that if I cite this garbage as I walk through the valley of death, in a shadow of death and this and that, and I fear no evil, for you are with me. Well, no terrorist ever feared any evil on the first place, as the terrorists represent what is evil. So you are no different in that sense, Bush, because I don't see you in any other way as a terrorist is what you are. You are a evil and the terrorist. You represent actually the terror and the terrorism. That's all there is to it. This is a valley of the dead. This is a shadow of the dead. What you're watching right now is 5.5 years of continuous forceful unemployment. Eight years during last 15 years forceful unemployment. While during the Great Depression, people were considered as unemployed, whenever not allowed to work in their professions, or work in my professions, which I have two,